Let's just read paper 4. What questions have been asked? Examine the pattern and trend of public expenditures on social services in the post-reform period. To what extent this has been in consonance with the achieving of the objectives of inclusive growth. भारत में सुधारों के उपरांत की अवधि में सामाजिक सेवाओं पर सार्वजनिक व्यय के स्वरूप एवं प्रकृति का परीक्षण कीजिए। किस सीमा तक यह समावेशी समृद्धि के उद्देश्य को प्राप्त करने के अनुरूप है? This is one. Second question is what are the causes of persistent high food inflation in India? Comment on the effectiveness of the monetary policy of RBI to control this type of inflation. Persistent high food inflation. ठीक है. Then next, what were the factors responsible for the successful implementation of land reforms in some parts of the country? Elaborate. In some parts of the country, successful implementation of land reforms. Next, explain the role of millets for ensuring health and nutritional security in India. Those are all 10 markers question, 150 words. What is the present world scenario of intellectual property rights with respect to life materials? With respect to life materials. Although India is second in the world to file patent, still only a few have been commercialized. So this part in generally science and technology and economy is missed. मतलब patent से related because unless you take it seriously, that global economy, it is not possible. So if you are wasting or rather giving all your times only on mugging up definitions and definition, ग्लोबलाइजेशन से रिलेटेड जो कोर इश्यूज है वो तो मिस हो ही जाते हैं. So explain the reasons behind this less commercialization. तो इंडिया वर्ल्ड में सेकेंड हाईएस्ट पेटेंट फाइल करता है, बट क्या लिखा है? इंडिया इज सेकेंड इन द वर्ल्ड फॉर टू फाइल पेटेंट्स. स्टिल ओनली अ फ्यू हैव बीन कमर्शियलाइज्ड. सो कमर्शियलाइजेशन नहीं. ओके. Next, what is the technology being employed for electronic toll collection on highways? What are its advantages and limitations? What are the proposed changes that will make this process seamless? Would the transition carry any potential hazards? इसके potential hazards क्या हो सकते हैं? Industrial pollution of river water is a significant environmental issue in India. Discuss the various mitigation measures to deal with this problem and also the government's initiative in this regard. Okay. अब दूसरे questions है the same paper. What role do environmental NGOs and activists play in influencing environmental impact assessment? EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. I have persistently been mentioning environmental issues, NGOs, and environmental impact assessment. EI outcomes for major projects in India cite 4 examples with all important details. Okay, then अब कुछ security से question है. Explain how narco terrorism has emerged as a serious threat across the country. Suggest suitable measures to counter narco terrorism. Repeatedly, I have been talking on all these issues in polity or society. Describe the context and salient features of Digital Personal Data Protection Act. Digital Personal Data Protection Act लिखवाया इसको और repeatedly told that please इसका notes बना लेना, ये आएगा. ये तो क्वेश्चन मैंने बोला था ये ओपन है और लिक्ड है. मैंने बोला ये आएगा, आ रहा है. Okay. This question I did give dictation in social classes. कौन सा? ये वाला. Discuss the merits and demerits of the 4 labor codes in the context of labor market reforms in India. What has been the progress so far in this regard? Progress सिर्फ इतना ही है कि notify हो गए हैं. Next, what is the need for expanding the regional air connectivity in India? Regional air connectivity. In this context, discuss the government's Udan scheme and its achievements. Repeatedly, I have been mentioning the increasing ports, increasing number of flights and their economic importance. Next, what are the major challenges faced by Indian irrigation system in recent times? State the measures taken by the government for efficient irrigation management. Right. Next, elucidate the importance of buffer stocks for stabilizing agricultural prices in India. What are the challenges associated with the storage of buffer stocks? Next, the world is facing an acute shortage of clean and safe fresh water. What are the alternative technologies which can solve this crisis? Briefly discuss any 3 such technologies, citing their key merits and demerits. What is disaster resilience? How is it determined? Despite various elements of resilience framework, also mention the global targets of Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. Flooding in urban areas is an emerging climate-induced disaster. Discuss the causes of this disaster. Mention the features of 2 such major floods in last two decades in India. Describe the policies and frameworks in India that aim at tackling such floods. Now next, India has a long and troubled border with China and Pakistan, fraught with contentious issues. Examine the conflicting issues and security challenges along the border. Also, give out development being undertaken in these areas under the Border Area Development Program. Although this is not my subject, but I have always mentioned of Border Area Development Program. And border infrastructure management. I've always talked on border infrastructure, Social media and encrypting messaging services pose a serious security challenge. What measures have been adopted at various levels to address the security implications of social media? Also, suggest any other remedies to address this problem. ठीक है. I have always said that these questions in mains belong to a common uh, academic ecosystem. If you understand that ecosystem, then all questions commonly come from a particular ecosystem. I will read out the paper's questions in other papers also. This was paper number 4. This is the paper that I relate most, even though my subjects are so-called, my subjects are polity and society. But this is the paper, especially the economy one, that I relate myself maximum with.